This video is how to create a Cubism coloring page. Cubism artists took things that were organic, like plants, animals, landscapes, and they portrayed them in a very geometric fashion. So what I mean by geometric is any shape that is perfect and uniform, like triangles, rectangles, squares, anything you would use a ruler to draw with, like, sharp, perfect edges. So what I've done is I've found an organic picture, like of a dinosaur with some landscape behind, and I'm going to take my ruler to break this dinosaur and landscape up into more geometric shapes. You can do these as small as you would like to. I'm doing my shapes fairly large because I'm going to use crayon to color these in. Right now it might be kind of hard to see these pencil lines. And I know it's like against your nature, but I do encourage you to draw some shapes that go through the face. And break up all areas, legs, tail. As far as the background goes, it's kind of your choice what you want to do with the background. So if you wanted to break up the entire background as well. When it comes to coloring, it's also your choice with colors. I like to limit my palette and just choose 3 or 4 colors. But then another thing you can do is you could limit your palette in each section of the drawing. So maybe what I would do is I would do 3 or 4 colors on the dinosaur, and then 3 or 4 colors on the ground, and then maybe a couple colors in the sky, so that when it's done, you can really still see the difference between all those shapes. However, some people really like, when they're doing this method of coloring page, to have things sort of blend in so that it takes a normal looking coloring page and it makes it look kind of hard to see the borders and edges of things, almost like shapes are camouflaged or just not as obvious. So that's totally up to you. So I'm going to continue to do this. I think I'm going to do the ground and the dinosaur, and then I think I'm going to leave the sky blank. I might even do a little bit in the clouds. I don't know if this is how it was copied or if this is just how this image was, but I'm going to kind of finish that cloud and then break up the clouds as well. Okay, here I've got my dinosaur, my ground, and my clouds broken up into smaller spaces, more geometric spaces like in Cubism. When I go to start coloring, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to vary in values as I go. Make some shapes dark, some shapes light. Even if you're using the same color, like if I was doing a blue next to another blue, maybe I could just change the values. Another thing you can do is you can gradate as you color. So when I start coloring one shape here, I want to start with dark outlines on the edges. Now I could color dark all the way through, or what I could do is I could also do a gradation on here. And a gradation is when you start coloring dark and it fades lighter as you go. So this one's going to be dark on the edges, lighter towards the center. But another option I have is to just do the shapes colored in really, really solid. So this one, I'm going to color maybe around his eye. But I'm going to still start with a dark outline to cover up pencil lines, which I recommend you guys do as well. I'm going to do dark outlines on the edge of my dinosaur. Color in really, really solid. In some other spaces on here, another option that I have is I can color medium and I can color really, really light. With one crayon, you should be able to get at least 3 different values. So this is my dark value. I could pick another shape, and I'm still going to start with a dark outline just to cover up pencil lines and borders. But maybe this one will be like my medium one. So in this shape, I'm not going to color as dark as I did on that last one. You'll still be able to see a pretty bright blue tone, just not as dark as I can color. And then I could even go into space right between these two. I'm still going to do dark outlines to cover up pencil lines and borders, but maybe this one will be my light space. So now I'm going to color as light as I possibly can with the blue. So the reason we're changing values in these shapes, either doing gradations or dark, medium, or light, is because we want to be able to see the different shapes. So I could go in and I could fill the dinosaur in with all different shades and values of blue, or I could obviously use different colors in there as well. Color, like I said, is completely up to you. I'll come back to you guys when I'm done. Okay, here's the finished Cubism coloring page. Remember, you could do the whole background or just part of the background. And also remember to change your values as you're coloring. Try for some dark, some medium, some light values. Also maybe experience with some gradations, experiment where they start out dark and they fade lighter. Maybe darker around the edges, darker at the top, darker from one corner. And you can restrict your colors, like I just did blues and greens inside the dinosaur, or you can use whatever colors you want. So all colors are fair game in this one.